If only I were a candle in the night.
You're reached Blatchfield Health. Sorry, I missed your call. Please leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Hi, it's Bruce Dean calling. My number is 250. I'm calling about my camera gear and memory cards and everything you got of mine, and also my mobility aid. But apparently you had dropped off my place unannounced and had talked to my friend here, and they said you had my camera gear with you but didn't leave it. So I'm wondering how that can be arranged to be delivered again. I've been in hospital the whole time ever since the assault on me by the police, when they broke my hip and caused my heart attack. And so I'm home now, but I'm still recovering from the hip replacement, and I'm waiting a heart surgery. So I'd appreciate this being made as easy as possible for me to get the stuff that was improperly taken from me. So again, Bruce Dean, my phone number is 217-5980. Please call me back, or you can contact any of my emergency contacts that you have, such as... Thank you very much.
You've reached the Independent Investigations Office of British Columbia's Public Service Line. Please leave a detailed message with your information and contact details, and an investigator will call you back as soon as practicable. If possible, please include the date and location of the incident. Thank you.
After the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hi, I believe it was on Sunday, June 2nd, I believe, after lunchtime sometime. I had a hate crime against me. Some guy, I was flying a Palestinian flag, some guy attacked me for it, no rationale behind it. But then after that, and I was injured severely. I'm a disabled senior citizen. The guy was about half my age. After that, the police arrived on scene and prevented me from getting any proper medical care, interfering with my medical care, and to the point of the police convincing the doctor to release me to their custody and saying that I was fine, and I wasn't. And then I spent about 4 hours at least being roughed up and beat up and thrown into a police car, literally upside down. And then they dumped me on the sidewalk out front of the Victoria Police Station. And a cabbie that had called for me saw my condition, banged on the police door and insisted the police came out and forced them to call me an ambulance. The ambulance took me back to the hospital, where they discovered that now I had a broken hip and I had a heart attack and was having a heart attack. And so as a result of the police treatment, where I'd done nothing wrong, I was a victim of a hate crime, and I ended up having a broken hip replacement, and then one heart surgery so far, and then that was unsuccessful, so they got one scheduled for the 15th for a total open heart surgery and whatnot, all as a result of the police beating. I've informed you guys twice before, at least. Other people have called on my behalf to inform you, and I've still had no response. My name is Bruce, last name is Dean. My phone number is 2. I also have an active police complaint going against the Victoria Police Department, Saanich Police, and others for their corruption. And then before this incident happened, I've been complaining to the OPCC that I was being targeted by police, retaliated against by police. I had a vehicular assault committed against me by the Victoria Police Department. Motorcycle cop drove into my mobility aid on purpose and then left the scene. No police officers present who all witnessed it did anything about it. I complained about that to the OPCC, nothing happened, and now this. So I'm home, having bed rest now, trying to recover from this. I have the right knee has still not been taken care of properly, the injury, hip replacement, heart surgeries, heart attack. How much more? Do they have to kill me before you guys step up? What is going on? Bruce Dean. Get your shit together, man. Do your job.
saw it. I thought I'll try it anyways, you know.
It was good. We didn't have too many numbers, but it was good.
Yeah.
And no cops. I mean, they came. They were trying to chase us. It was really funny. But we called them out.
Right on.
What's your name?
Bruce.
White guy.
Bruce, yeah.
Oh, okay, I've been calling you. Your Instagram name is Princess, something like that.
Oh, professional recreationalist.
Princess. Oh,
But
holy wow.
Oops. A little off, but
Professional recreationalist. Did you have a video where there was some sort of princess?
I may have.
I swear
I'm
I
trying to
saw a
think
video.
What's up, princess? Princess,
Cool.
I haven't called you.
Are you coming Saturday?
Oh, for sure. All the efforts are worth it. So
Yes. Have a good night, my friend.
yeah, for sure. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye bye. Princess out. Hey! Yeah, it's a red light you're driving through, dude.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, no, stop driving through a red light. Man, what are you doing? You're fucking crazy, it's a red light. Look at this idiot.
Free Palestine.
You got it, man. Yeah, you got it. From the
Have a good
river
one,
to the
bro.
sea.
Assalamu alaikum.
It's gotta be. We need a ceasefire a long time ago. It's just crazy what's going on, and so many people like yourselves see it. So what are our government waiting for, you know?
Thank you so much for standing up for us.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, you're welcome. It's really just everybody should, especially, I always say, especially us, like, us white dudes, because like we represent the colonialism and all the ugliness, whatever like that, and so we need to set the example for other white males to say, guys. Because the white males typically are our leaders making these decisions to keep bombing and giving money for bombs and stuff, and it's disgusting. Well, thank you. I feel almost ashamed or embarrassed when you say that, but I appreciate the sentiment, but it's really, I'm disabled, man. I can't do much with my time, and so I just devote it to doing stuff like this, you know. I go to all the actions I can, and when I'm not, I just drive around and I meet good people like you, and other people get to see the support, and that really helps ring true for their minds, and so it all just adds up. And I've been doing this long before October 7th, but it's really been, you see more and more support building, people becoming more educated and aware. So.
Yeah, every support counts.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, you guys, and thank you for speaking up and saying that. I appreciate that. Push me away, you fucking come up here. Because he didn't have those in you, and he feels threatened. So I mean, you joined him, you made it 2 against 1, you bitch. He was really being threatened. He was being threatened, and he put his hands on me. Hey, don't. Don't put your hands on me again. You do it again, that's a threat. Fuck off. Fucking pigs, eh? Fuck. And I brought the big police complaint. I said, you don't want it. You don't push me away, you fucking come up here. Because he didn't have those in you, and he feels threatened. So I mean, you joined him, you made it 2 against 1, you bitch. He was really being threatened. He was being threatened, and he put his hands on me. Hey, don't. Don't put your hands on me again. You do it again, that's a threat. Fuck off. Fucking pigs, eh? Fuck.
Now, it was the day after the Palestine rally when this happened, but apparently there was 2 rallies apparently of the Zionists at the legislature, and I was down from there by the what I call Paradise Corner, by the clock tower in the tourist center. And I go there all the time. I park my bike, I film the traffic, and do some cycling activism. But then I also usually fly the Palestine flag or something, depending upon what's going on. And that day I had the Palestine flag, and the guy came up and assaulted me over it. But then once the cops showed up and saw it was me, all of a sudden they suspected me of being the guilty guy, or planned on making me the guilty guy. They handcuffed me, and they put bags over my hands to preserve evidence. And I'm going to see if the timer lets me keep talking, or if I have to do these minute clips or not. Yeah, so minute clips. So anyways, so the police then, from then on I got no good treatment. The ambulance people didn't even put me properly on a stretcher or nothing. And they mocked me for supporting terrorists. And then I get to the hospital, and the same treatment from there. The police approached all the hospital staff, and I didn't even get fair treatment there by the hospital staff. And they insisted there was nothing wrong with me. And when I said, no, there's something wrong, maybe my hip, I don't know, but there's something, I'm in serious pain now, I'm injured. And she was mocking me, saying I was a wuss, and then she grabbed my upper calf with both hands and shook it violently for the police to demonstrate that I was fine. And I screamed out in pain, and she just said, oh no, he's fine to go. he's just a wuss. And then the cops took me, and then the rough treatment started from there on in. Like, for some reason, the hospital didn't have a normal wheelchair, so they had to use one of those big old steel ones that aren't adjustable. I couldn't get because of my disability, I couldn't get, and the hospital part of me released me without a mobility aid. So the police just grabbed one of those steel ones out of the emergency ward, and they hauled me in that, and it kept bottoming out, and so my feet would jam up into my body, including, I guess, at this time, a broken hip. Although the hospital cleared me for release, but they claimed there was no broken hip, but they also, you know, just ignored my disability. So then the police took the roughest road they could once they got me inside the police car. But how they got me in the police car is they tried to force me to walk on my busted hip and on my disability without any mobility aid to get into their car. And they were brutal about it, forced me and jarring me around. And I kept begging with them that I was in so much pain and I was going to black out, and they made jokes about being all good because then I wouldn't be giving them grief. They just throw me in the car, and that's what they ended up doing. Was they literally threw me into the back of the police car, and I went in head first. I bounced, and my head went down into the floorboard behind the driver's side. They were loading me on the passenger side, and my feet were sticking up, and they slammed the car door into me, into my feet that were sticking up, and my one that's closest to them was my right leg, which it turns out later on at some point I had got a broken hip. Could have been already a van, it could have been by the hands of the police for the rest of the night, but they left me upside down for hours inside the police car. And so I couldn't tell where I was going, the route we were going. I would just see landmarks that I recognized once in a while, but I was just in excruciating pain. And then the cops left me upside down like that. It hadn't been an hour or two. I'd lost track of time, the amount of pain I was in. But I finally got the gumption to grab onto that window hole. They had all the windows closed. They were sweatboxing me. And so I got my fingers up and I got a hold of the opening, sort of, just grab onto it and enough. And I was able to sort of get my face up and look and get a view out, and I could breathe through the cracks in the opening there to get some cooler air to help cool me down. But by this point I was already having a heart attack at the time too. Then they pulled me out of this jail cell. I'm carrying me out of the back of the cop car, and they threw me to a jail cell and kept me there for, again, an hour or two, I don't know. But there was cameras everywhere, so I know I was being filmed. I got a FOI, all the video footage from them, and it'll show them roughing me up. I counted 3 cameras when I was upside down there, 3 cameras that I knew had a good view of me being upside down in the police car. So anyway, so then they moved me into the jail cell, then they came in and questioned me. There was no not answering questions. They just sort of kept asking. And so anyways, then they finally made me sign something. I don't know what it was. They said there was an investigation going, the investigation was going on. And I had some date that I have to appear, which I still don't know what it is. But my buddy says it's probably at least 2 or 3 weeks away. And then they released me, and I just said, yeah, no, we tried to get me on my mobility aid, but that was just too painful for my hip for me to be able to sit on my mobility aid. So I finally opted for a cab to get me home. They did make reference, or at some point suggested, well, you don't want to go back to the hospital, whatever like that, and we can call you an ambulance. And I'm just like, no, I was just assaulted there. They released these guys. So I was assuming at this point that it wasn't as bad of an injury as I thought, and it wasn't a busted hip or something, that maybe my titanium knee maybe was shattered, I don't know. But I was just traumatized by the whole thing, being upside down like that for so long and stuff, and being roughed up and forced to walk on a broken hip. I mean, I was just traumatized, so I just wanted to get home. So they wheeled me back upstairs somehow. I think it was a wheelchair they had laying around there or something like that, when they wheeled me back upstairs on the ramp. And that one was jamming too into the ground, I remember. But anyways, they got me upstairs and they dumped me off. Like they took the wheelchair back from me and they dumped me without a mobility aid on the picnic bench out front of the police station. And somewhere in there, they called me a taxi. It took forever. Taxi finally showed up. And the driver happened to be a Palestine ally who recognized me from the protests. And I told him what happened, and he was irate. He just went ape shit on the police station doors until they reopened it because they were closed. It was like after hours. So he forced them to reopen it, and they tried to tell him shit. He wouldn't take it for a second. He says, "No, you get him an ambulance, get him an ambulance." And so they finally got me an ambulance, but again, the cops talked to them ahead of time. So those two drivers, again, also mocked me for supporting terrorists, and I guess were convinced I was a bad guy. Though they got me back to the hospital, it seemed like they tried to sort of talk to people ahead of time, but I got treated right away, and I got sent into the emergency stuff right away. And so from that point forward, my treatment was fine, but nobody wanted to hear about what happened the first time I was there. They just wanted to pretend like that was my first visit, and that I hadn't been assaulted by a doctor, and I hadn't been, called an asshole by nurses and stuff like that, like the police had been convinced I was. And but it took a while to get them rolling, but then they finally realized I did have a broken hip, so then they organized, and I got my hip surgery about 2 or 3 days later. About 4 days after I got my hip was broken. So I've been living and roughed up by everybody, including the police, with this broken hip for all that period of time. And so they did the hip replacement on me, but they've ignored everything else I've been complaining about. The whole time I was there, they ignored that I was disabled. So I didn't get any treatment for it. I didn't get any of my cancer medications. I didn't get any of my chronic pain medications. I got nothing. I got jack shit. But then they started to realize, and the word got around, they realized they had fucked up, and they sent me out to the police as if I was fine. Then the treatment started getting a bit better. But it still was. There were still Zionists made themselves known to me. So like I was sent down for X-rays one time, and the porter treated me like an asshole, and the nurses knew me and were nice to me, but the porter was transferring me, with the help of the nurses, was transferring me onto a stretcher to take me down for the X-rays, and the nurses were helping move me over really gently. That fucking porter right at the last second, he just yanked on the blankets below me or whatever, and like pulling a rug out from underneath you, and just yanked me over at high speed over onto the stretcher, and my still broken right hip flung out to the right side and then flopped back again. And this was the best I was ever treated by anybody in the hospital. This nurse, I think her name was Grace. I think she's a Filipino woman. And she just gave that guy the look of death and told him, "Stop it, and don't do that," or something. And then she was on me right away and stabilizing my leg and whatnot. And then when he got me down to the X-ray room, I think he was bad-mouthing me to the X-ray techs, who were just idiots, and how they handled me. Like right away, they started just moving stuff that was holding my feet up in position because of my disability. And the two people working in the X-ray there, the one X-ray guy had helped me before, the first time I was in there, and so I think he remembered me as this asshole guy. And so when the Asian lady also started moving my thing, I was like, "Oh, hey, don't move it." She goes, "Oh, I know, we're not supposed to move you." I says, "But you did. You took that pillow off my foot dropped down to the side. Now I'm in a lot of pain. Can you just put that towel back in again there?" And she's like, "Well, you're not allowed to move you." I said, "But you did." And then the male guy got in the way, and I couldn't get it fixed. I was in excruciating pain the whole time, and he was jamming me into position so that I would be in the right position for the X-ray, supposedly. But I've had, over 30 surgeries, tons and tons of X-rays. They don't treat you like that. He was being a dick to me and roughing me out. And so I had that happen too. And then later on, when they realized that I was that other things I complained about, well, no, they never paid attention. I got a cracked or broken rib or something in my back. I got a new back injury. I don't know if it came from the Zionist attack. I don't know if it came from the police roughing me up and forced me into that car upside down for so long or whatever. But I've got a new back pain. It happens to be hurting me a lot right now, so it stands out. And no one's ever looked at that. No one x-rayed my back. No one did nothing. Just like they didn't do anything for my bleeding elbows when I from the assault, and that no one ever treated my bleeding elbows. First time or second time through there, I got no treatment for my bloody elbows. And then when I had the heart attack, then I had probably the last incident, and that was this nurse or doctor, I believe, down on the cardiac ward. I've been complaining to them because they put me on this table service and that back spot was hurting me, but also my disability, and they made no allowance for how to support my foot up, and there's all kinds of stuff that they always do for me as surgeries, but these people weren't. And then so I came out of that stent surgery, and they couldn't do the stents because apparently my heart's really bad, so they had to cancel it and to make other plans. But when I got come out of there, I was in this holding area, and I was on the phone to Donna, talking to her, my daughter's mother, on the phone to her, talking to her about the aches and pains I was in, and how they weren't allowing for my disability and whatnot. And I guess this doctor was eavesdropping. But instead of saying sorry or something, she ripped my curtain open and started giving me shit. And she was trying to give me shit, and she was trying to say that I was talking too loud, I was yelling or something. But I was talking into the telephone to Donna. I wasn't yelling into the phone at her. And one of the first things Donna said is, who's that person I can hear yelling at you? She could hear the person yelling at me over me talking. And she didn't have the phone next to her mouth, so clearly she was the one talking loudly and not me. But she was just all butthurt because I wasn't happy about this stuff, and she tried to argue with me there. I was like, no, I'm not going to take that shit. I just went through torture and pain. No, and you guys are ignoring my disability. I'm not getting cancer medications. I'm not getting my chronic pain medications. Like, you guys just ignore that part of my chart. So anyways, that's the short of it. But that was sort of like the last big incident I had with them. So the gist of it is I was assaulted by a Zionist. I cleared hate crime. He trashed my mobility aid, broke the flagpole, beat me with my steel flagpole over the head, and then the cops came and they roughed me up, and they ensured that I got poor medical treatment. The medical profession should not allow my treatment to be affected by the police's opinion of me or claims of me. I'm supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And that was a clear hate crime that inflicted upon me. And so then the medical profession failed me. And then the cops took me in, and I kept telling them, no, I'm injured. So they refused to give me proper medical attention, dumped me on the sidewalk, and it was a Palestinian taxi driver who finally got me the medical attention that I needed. Hate crime completely covered up, and where is the IIO? As soon as there was any sort of injury or anything, accusations of it, the IIO has to be involved. Any accusation, they have to step in and do an investigation. And I've got so far from this, we don't know where the injuries happened at this point, because the hospital claimed that they released me in good care. But after the police had me in the police station, I had a broken, destroyed hip. You should see some of the bruising. And then I had to have a hip replacement because of that. And then I also had a heart attack, and the hospital twice told me clearly, oh no, something dislodged that thing in your heart, and that's what gave you the heart attack. There was some blockage in there, being roughed up, dislodged it, and that gave me the heart attack. So where is the IIO now? Are they going to help cover this up already too? All the evidence is in the hands of the police right now. The police assaulted me. Oh, this is nice, Dallas. We should have knocked on Heather's door. Good girl, Dallas. There we go, Dallas. We did it. Made it outside. We're gonna have a pit stop here. We're gonna do a bit of a walk, and then we're gonna go for another walk and then home. Oh, Dallas, this is so fucking nice. Okay.
How's it going?
Going pretty good. Thanks. Yourself. Oh, Dallas. Sorry, I didn't realize the cat was there, and I forgot she's beside me here. She's good with cats, though. That's as excited as she gets. Right on. How's it going for you? Anything new and exciting? Yeah, I got assaulted by a racist who attacked me, and he injured me, and we don't even know for sure what then, but they took me to the hospital, who said I was fine. Then the cops took me back to the station and kicked the shit out of me for a few hours. And then they released me and dumped me on the sidewalk out front of the police station at nighttime. And some Palestinian cabbie that I happened to know through the protests saw me laying there, stops. He went and banged on the police station door, opened it up, made them call me an ambulance. I got taken back to the hospital, and I had a broken hip and I had a heart attack. Yeah, so I've had the hip replaced already now, and then I go back for heart surgery in about 2 weeks, open heart surgery. They did a heart surgery already, but they realized that couldn't fix it, so they closed me back up, and I'm going back in about 2 weeks and a bit, and I have open heart surgery, and then hopefully I'm going to be all fine.
I'll pray for you.
Well, thanks. And you know what the funny thing about it is? If that guy wouldn't have attacked me, and the police wouldn't have beat me up, they wouldn't have found out about my heart condition. And then I probably just would have been out riding someday and fall over, and there would have been no ambulance. I had my heart attack right in the best heart hospital in BC. So it was like, in a way, it's kind of almost good luck, but it's a shitty way to get it, but I'll take it, you know. Okay, man, good seeing you.
This is for Palestine, Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question, resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine, long live Gaza. Palestine, Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question, resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine, long live Gaza.
All you see is war every time you turn your head at night. Bloodshed on the floor, mother cries, who cries for her this time? There's truth between these wars, see the lies between the lines they hide. Where the bullets coming from the tyrants dressed in our disguise.
I'm a rider till the end, even if I got to push back for all my friends. Cause you know that I'm a fighter, let me see a lighter. And we not gonna stop the Palestine is free. But still you know that I'm a rider till the end, even if I got to push back for all my friends. Cause you know that I'm a fighter, let me see a lighter. And we not gonna stop the Palestine is free.
Taught to not love, taught to be blind, taught to not care. Tell me what's real, borderlines, military despair. How to exist if there's no rights to be human in fear? And if you take away your home, where's the house supposed to live? Taught to not love, taught to be blind, taught to not care. Tell me what's real, borderlines, military despair. How to exist if there's no rights to be human in fear? And if you take away your home, where's the house supposed to live?